Alex Perlman here with new women's basketball head coach Jimmy Dykes. And Jimmy, you know, as we continue to get to know you a little bit better, we know that you haven't been in the women's game for very long. You've been an analyst for, you know, the Final Four and NCAA on ESPN in terms of women's basketball, but never coached the women's game. What do you think the differences are going to be from men's to women's?
Last I checked, the goals were the same height.
They are?
And the court was the same size. Basketball is basketball. And I think that's how you have to approach it. I think that's how my student athletes want. I think that's how they want to be coached. They want to be coached as basketball players, and that's how I'm going to coach them. Now, are there some things in the women's game that's different? Absolutely. You got 5 seconds less to work with on the shot clock. You can't just rely on pure athleticism to set a back screen and throw the ball around the rim and a kid jump up and finish it. Honestly, it's a purer form of the game. You can't just out athlete people. You've got to execute. You've got to coach them up. You know, what also attracts me to the women's game, even more than the men, from a coaching standpoint, I think they're more coachable. I think they come to campus a more coachable group than men, in a broad stroke way. I know that. I see that, and that attracts me. I consider myself a teacher. I think all coaches out there, at their core, they love teaching, and that's who I am. So I embrace that part of it. Now, can I have the same 2.5-hour grueling practices that we had when I was an assistant at Kentucky? No. Can we have a 1.5-hour grueling practice like we had at Kentucky? Yes. Can we have that now? No. Will we get to that point? Yes. So I know what the best practices out there look like, sound like, and feel like. I've seen them. My eyes have been on the men's game and the women's game. Some of the best practices I've ever seen, the most intense practices I've ever seen in terms of competitive fire, no wasted time, the energy level, all those things that just grab you and say, wow, have been on the women's side. I know what they're capable of doing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you get 4 years to work with these players too. That's a big difference, and that can be a huge plus for a coach.
I don't have any one and dones. You're right. And that's you bring up another good point that I like about the women's game more than the men's right now. You know, once they're here, they're here. You know, will we have some that for whatever reason it doesn't fit? We may. I'll take that personal if it doesn't work out, regardless if they're the ones I recruited or didn't. Now this is my team. These are my young ladies. You know, I want it to work out for every one of them here, but through a process, you know, sometimes it's just not the right fit. I get that, but it's a program that if they stay with it, if they stay with me, and they stay with my staff, and they capture the vision that I have for this program, no one will be wanting to leave, and a whole bunch of them will be wanting to join.
I don't doubt that, and I'm sure we're going to get to that day very, very soon. That's Jimmy Dykes, a new women's basketball head coach. We're going to continue to get to know him over the next few days here on ArkansasRazorbacks.com.